Hey there, I'm Ken, this is Canadian Retro Things. It's time to continue playing with the guts of my Apple IIgs. So if you haven't seen the first part of this video, which I really think you should, because yeah, you'll be able to keep up with what's happening in the second part, but I will put a link to it down in the description. So here's a quick recap. I took my Apple IIgs apart, showed you on the board where there used to be a battery. Very important thing is to always get rid of those old batteries on these old computers so that they don't leak all over the board and cause damage. So I have now added a new battery holder to it, which will make it easier. It's not going to be soldered right onto the board, the battery itself. The battery will now be removable. And then I started working on my power brick. I opened up the case, and that's all I've done so far. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be replacing all the capacitors in it, especially those awful little RIFA caps, because I don't want one of those smelly, loud smoke shows. So I guess what we're going to do now is we are going to jump right in and continue from where we were. The power brick case is open, so let's see what happens now. There. And this is our power supply. So the main components I'm going to be changing over are right in there, there, and that ugly little RIFA cap right there. Let's just see if we can get a good shot of that RIFA cap. As you can see, it has some cracks in it. So now I believe there's 2 screws holding this board in. And there's a metal bar holding it in here. That's 2 screws you have to take out. Now, do I have to take this thing out? Now, I know there's a little tool to use to get these things out, but I don't have one, so I believe you just have to give them a turn and you should be able to pop them open. Yeah. There we go. I'll get that out of there. So this is the RIFA cap. Just to show you what this RIFA cap looks like, on why I wanted to change it. That puppy's ready to explode. All right, well, let's get the rest of those out. All right, so I got the new RIFA cap on. I got that one on. Unfortunately, I couldn't get this one off because, as you see, they've got the thick metal legs on these ones. And the way that they put those on is they put them through and then bent them right over, then soldered them on. And I just, my little soldering iron couldn't get quite enough heat on those big traces to disconnect it from the board. So don't want to risk wrecking the board, so there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with this one, so I'm just going to leave it. Now, got to do all the ones over here, and yeah, we'll be good to plug this in and try it out and see if it explodes or not. And all the capacitors are changed. Now we gotta just try and get this back together. There we go. It slides over like that. There's little railings that it fits into there. Now, to put these back in, and she shall be held in place. We'll screw the board down and then we can plug it in. Well, actually, we'll put the wires back into place first. This thing should slip in here like this. See if I can remember how to do this. There. Wires in there. There. And the tension relief thing is in place. Now, grab a power wire. Make sure we're off. Plug it in, stand back and wait for the smoke show. Well, it appears to be working. Now let's put das lid back on. There we go. And where did the last two screws go? All right, so this is ready to go. Now I can mount everything back into the computer and test it out. So here's the main computer. Line up all the ports. There. So this is going to mount right down in here. I'm going to use some double-sided tape. Now these are not rechargeable batteries, but the Apple IIgs doesn't charge, so it's good to go.
I'm not mounting it quite yet because I just want to make sure first that everything works. So, shall we go? Plug this in and see what happens.
All right, we have everything hooked up. It's currently running through a SCART connector to RGB. That's actually a cord that is available from the Coco Man, which you may know him as the one that I bought this switcheroo off. Well, he also makes these for your Apple IIgs. So, first off, let's test it to see if it's working. And we've got a screen. And yeah, looks like it is working. All right, we're into the control panel now. That, of course, is hitting Control, Closed Apple, Reset, or on my French-Canadian keyboard, it's this funny little symbol, whatever that is. Now, let's set something. Well, first, let's set the system speed to normal. Oops. Then we'll change the display. There we go, that's the one I want, dark green. Kind of make it look like a Coco. Let's give it a light gray border. Okay, and save that. Oops, quit. Now it'll go into the disk. Once that's finished loading, let's just turn it off, turn it back on, and see if, yes, the savings are saved. It's working. It's working. This is excellent. So now I can take that battery holder and put it down with some double-sided tape, and we're good to go. All right, we got our double-sided tape here. We'll just rip off a tiny little piece. Measure it. Okay, we only need about half of this, so there, we've started one corner of it. So now we will stick that on the back. Peel it off. Stick it down right there. There we go. That is now secured. Now the great thing about this is that if I'm ever storing this computer for any amount of time, I just have to easily just come in and pop that battery out. Then no worries about leaking. There we go. The Apple IIgs is all back together and ready to be played with. And that battery is working great. It's remembering everything. So this was a successful little job here. Of course, except for that one capacitor in the power source that I could not get out, but all the other ones are changed. And I did run the ones I changed through my capacitor tester here, and they were actually all within specs. The only one I was actually worried about there was the RIFA cap. And yeah, so I figured since I was in there, I may as well change them all. So I'm not worried about the one I didn't change, since the other ones were all still relatively pretty good. Just a quick update. One of the things I realized as I was editing the video together is that I forgot to actually clean the flux off the board. So, since I have it open again, I'm going to give that pesky capacitor one more try. I put a much larger tip onto my soldering iron, so let's see if I can do it. Success! That nasty little sucker is out of there. There we go. Now put it back together and it's ready to go. With now all new capacitors in there. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope now that you have an Apple II GS, then you maybe have an idea for a battery you can put in there. So yeah, if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and comment, and hey, even subscribe to the channel if you want. If you're disappointed, you can always unsubscribe. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time.